Hello there, welcome back to Beauty Bee. I don't know if you are a regular viewer of this channel or not, but if you are, you've likely noticed that basically for the last week and a half, my channel has been mostly dominated by my inventory and collection update. Now, as I was going through things, I was kind of making mental notes of some things that I could see myself potentially parting with, and I didn't want to declutter in that moment because I would feel like I was trying to cut things down for the sake of cutting my numbers down, for the sake of feeling like I hadn't purchased as much as I actually had over the past few months. But I went back through again today and I've picked out some things that I'm not quite ready to declutter, but I at least want to really go through my collection, see if I have similar things, try these items out, just generally see if these are things that deserve to stay in my life. I have 6 or 7 items here that I would consider getting rid of. The first I think I mentioned actually in my inventory video that I might be willing to part with. This is the Dickinson's Original Witch Hazel Pore Perfecting Toner. Now, I have previously had what may have been a bad reaction to witch hazel, so I did not choose this product. I received it in a Walmart beauty box just maybe a week or so ago. I filmed myself unboxing that, but the contents of the box were really lackluster, and I felt sick and looked as sick as I felt, so we're just going to delete that footage and pretend like it never happened. But in any case, I'm really not sure that I have ever had a bad reaction to witch hazel, so I at least want to do some patch tests of this. And if it does not work out for me, I mean, this is a toner. I would just be putting it on a cotton round. I would not feel bad at all about passing this on to my sister, who might be a little bit more interested in it. I have one brush that I'm considering decluttering. This is from Bella Beauty. I'm pretty sure that I got this at Goodwill. I mean, my Goodwill sells like sort of elf priced brushes. They're new, they're wrapped up. I didn't buy a used makeup brush, but I mean, this feels quality-wise like something that may have come from Goodwill, and I actually have gotten quite a bit of use out of this. If you were around at the beginning of my channel, first of all, thank you for sticking around for the past 2 years and a bit. But this is a brush that I picked up during quarantine when I was sort of stuck with my parents for a few months. And I really only had, I think, like 2 or 3 brushes that I brought with me. So having just a big face brush was really useful. Now, I don't really get a whole use out of this fan shape, and I don't really know what it could do for me. I think I might be able to use this to contour pretty nicely, but I just need to try it out. I don't know that I've used this at all in the past year or more, so I at least want to know what it could do for me so I can make an informed decision about whether it should stay in my collection. I have 2 lip products on the chopping block. The first one, you know what, I am actually just going to get rid of this. This is from Melt. It is their liquid lipstick in Rebound, and I have tried to make this work for me so many times. I had this in like a 5 tries to figure it out project pan, and I think my decision at the end of that was that it looked really good when I first applied it, but it just didn't wear well. And this is not a super unusual color. I mean, it's a little bit of a deeper brownish nude. I could find that other places. We'll just toss that. It's fine. I don't think I will miss it. The other lip product I actually do want to give a good try to. This is from Wet n Wild, and it is their Cloud Pout Marshmallow Lip Mousse. Now, I was so excited when these came out because I thought that they were going to be a lot like the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. I thought these might be just an updated, maybe even a little bit better formula. And I think these might be. I'm just not sure I picked the right color. I think I picked the lightest color in the range, which is this very bright, like salmon shade. And I feel like there are ways that I could make this work that would be really cute. I've gotten more into lip liner in the last few months than I ever have before. So I definitely have some lip liners that could be mixed with this. And I don't know. It's not something that I've reached for, I think, at all in several months, but I'm not quite ready to get rid of it. I feel like I need to give it a good try before I can make that call. If I had to guess right now, I would say that this is probably the most likely item to stick around after this chopping block series. Okay, 3 more items to talk about. First, we have this black opal highlight stick. Clearly not a highlight on me. It's a bronze shade. I got this in a Walmart beauty box as well. Here's a swatch of that. I thought when I first got this that I could use it as a cream bronzer or maybe a bronzery blush. And I think I've only worn it that way once, maybe twice. I just need to give this a better go. Like, I feel like the texture is not great for that purpose. And I feel like, I mean, it's a highlighter stick. That's what it's intended to be. And I feel like it might be a little bit too glowy to really work super well for me as a bronzer, but I want to at least give it a try. I wish that I hadn't assumed that I could make this work as a bronzer to start with, because now I wouldn't feel good passing this off to someone else, but if I'd left it sealed, I probably could have. And yeah, that's just where I'm at with that product. But because I have opened it, I want to give it a solid try, really try to make it work for me. I have an eye primer to talk about. This is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. I always forget that I own this, and I don't really see the purpose of this. This is a white primer. I don't know if mine is just dried out or what, but it doesn't really feel that puttyish to me. But I really have not gotten much use out of this. I've probably used it less than a handful of times in the maybe a year almost that I've owned this. I have a lot of pastels pulled in my Pan Those eyeshadows this month, and I suspect that if this is going to be great for anything, it would be to help those pastels pop. So I will give it a go with those. It's very dry. The texture on this is not appealing at all, but you know, I'm willing to see what it can do for me. I'm willing to give it a shot. And then finally, we have some eyeshadows. I would not be getting rid of this palette. I would just be getting rid of the contents of this palette. I have 9 shadows in here. I think all of these are repressed Wet n Wild shades. I had the, I don't even know what that palette was called, maybe the 28 pan palette from Wet n Wild. And it's just, these are shades that I'm not super drawn to begin with. And I am not very good at repressing things, so they kind of look ugly. I think that my camera is actually doing me some favors here and making it not quite as obvious how poorly repressed some of these are. But I just want to go through my collection over the next couple of weeks and really figure out if I do have these in other places. My assumption is that I do, and at the end of this couple of weeks, I think I should be able to make a decision about which of these shades add something to my collection and which of these can go. So I don't have shade names or anything because they're just Wet n Wild shades, but It's a very red-orange palette, and I don't use reds and oranges very often anyway, and I'm unlikely to reach for like an ugly looking Wet n Wild shade if I have a similar color anywhere else in my stash. And there are the items that are currently sitting on the chopping block. I think I'm going to take probably 2 or 3 weeks to try these things out, really gather my thoughts, and I will check back in a couple of weeks and let you know what things are staying, what things are going, and hopefully my collection will be a little bit smaller 2 weeks from now than it is right now. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Please consider liking and subscribing if you did, and definitely subscribe if you want to see how this pans out. I would really appreciate having y'all. Thanks again for watching, and I hope I see you next time.